Good rising, Facebook familia. I'm right now making a beautiful cup of cacao. If you've had the opportunity to try these guys, they're amazing. My friend Adam Rubin turned me onto them, and it's the best cacao and just melts right into the water. That's not the only reason why I wanted to come on to share a cup of cacao with you. Just coming back from my morning walk, getting ready for the day. I wanted to dive deep into what we think we know, because I have been receiving some really interesting YouTube videos from y'all. Been receiving a lot, like 10 to 20 messages a day about what could be happening. Dun, dun, dun. About the conspiracy theories, about the reptiles, about the Illuminati, about 5G, about all of these different things. And I'm going to give you a little secret. Tell you a little secret, and something my English teacher told me when I was 14 years old. 14, 15, I had an incredible English teacher, Juan White. We're still friends here on Facebook. I actually ordained his marriage. I was the ordained minister for his marriage. And he told me, anyone who tells you that they know the answers is the one who's trying to hide something. Anyone who tells you that they know the answers is the one who's trying to hide something. So I want to be super clear. I'm not saying that the 5G thing isn't real. I'm not saying that there isn't an Illuminati. I'm not saying that there isn't deep, deep pain in our current hierarchical structure on our government. What I am saying is that anyone who's on YouTube or on Facebook or sharing these memes, we have no fucking clue what actually has been going on for thousands of years. Right? When the Vatican was established after the Frank rule in Middle Europe around the 700s, once the Vatican really got a stronghold, they made a real commitment that the people who were wealthy were going to stay wealthy and that they were going to dominate the poor, no matter what their color, no matter what their gender. Race was created in order for the rich to stay rich. Gendered identities were created in order for the rich to stay rich. These are all tools of control. So it's not a bunch of old white guys. It's people of different backgrounds, different cultures, different people from around the world who got together and said, okay, we're the wealthiest families right now. It's 800 AD, 800 Common Era, and we're going to come together and create cohort in order to maintain our hold on the diamonds and the gold that are coming out of South Africa and Africa and the slave trade. So this was, early on. And we also want to make sure that the people are disconnected from their indigenous ways, because when we're connected to our indigenous ways, when we're connected to our tribal ways, we know how to pray. When we know that there's nothing between us and God, that it's just us, that it's God living through us, it's really hard to make slaves of people. So Christianity was used as a way to enslave people because it gives a hierarchy. It says it first goes God, and then man, and then woman, and then child. And then later on, they stratified that even more with race and said that white man was above black man or above brown man or above red man. And this was coming directly from the Christian Catholic Church, right? So this has been what's implanted for years and years and years. And it's really important for us, if we're looking at dissecting what is hierarchy, we have to understand that those of us who are watching now, none of us are part of the hierarchy. We are part of the working class. We are the plebiscents. We are the nobodies. We are the insignificants. Breathe that in for a second, you special ass. We are insignificant to the world order. Whether we live or die does not matter to the majority of the people who own the majority of our planet right now. So what do we do about it? Two things. Number one, don't go down the conspiracy theory rabbit hole. You can touch on it, right? But unless you're super centered in yourself and you have a really strong prayer practice and you know who you are, going down the conspiracy theory rabbit hole, I've found causes psychosis more than it does help anything. Just a small little thing, number one. Number two is to get in connection with your own spirituality, to get in connection with God, to get into connection with spirit. And for me, that's nature. For me, that's spending as much time as I can by myself in nature and working with my students, working with my clients, working with my people. That's where I find God, is sharing my gifts and being in nature. Making love with my beloved is another way that I find God. Our time right now is to reactivate our indigeneity, reactivate our own connection to the land. Know that we can never own land, but the land owns us. The earth owns us right now. If you're not getting that the coronavirus is schooling us, that the earth owns us, We all need to take a step back. We cannot own land, right? The Iroquois said it when they were trying to sign an agreement with the first settlers. They're like, are y'all crazy? We actually can't own land. The land owns us. The trees give us what we need. The animals give us what we need. The food, the plants give us what we need. We don't own them. If one day their consciousness was like, all right, humans, we're out, we would be screwed. The land owns us. We don't own her. So that's step one of reclaiming indigeneity is how do we steward the land that owns us? How do we take care of that which is us? We came from the earth. Our body is made of minerals and water. We are from the earth. We are not separate from the earth. We are one with her. So how we treat the planet is how we regard our own bodies. And right now we treat the planet like shit. And most people are putting shit in their bodies. So it's not all that disconnected. So step one of getting in touch with our own indigeneity, not getting caught up in the conspiracy theories and not getting caught up in the hierarchy, is getting our own spirituality back online, full on, not getting caught up in the insanity that's coming through. Whether it's through nature, meditation, breath, sound, movement, nurturing, self-touch is what I teach my people. These are free tools that you can use at any time, anywhere, to digest any emotional or spiritual experience. Breath, sound, moving the body, and nurturing touch, touching your body in a loving way. If you want to learn more about that, we have Sacred Sundays every Sunday at 1:11 p.m. The link is in my profile or theearthtemple.com/sacredsunday, and you can learn more about breath, sound, movement, and nurturing self-touch to move your emotions. Number one. Number two is opening, and getting around other people, even if it's digitally right now, that know that we don't know shit. The opening for this is I dove deep into the conversation around what we know. Please do not send me any more YouTube videos, guys. I'm getting like 10 to 20 a day of crazy ass YouTube videos. I'm not even watching them anymore, of what reptilian is controlling Trump and what 5G is going to do to our livers and what petroleum is doing to our planet. Here's the thing, is there's probably some truth in there, but unless there's action, unless there's something that allows me to step forward with it, it just creates more fear and creates more of the cyclone that we're trying to get out of, y'all. So please, no more YouTube videos unless there's like the direct action is to, here's how we change our engines from petroleum to water engines. That's the only YouTube video I want. How do we change our petroleum using car engines to water? Now, that's one way. Another one, how do we create free solar energy so we can all get off of fucking SDG&E, all off of our electric companies? I want that YouTube video, how to create all free solar. And finally, I would like the video on how we create our own water systems, our own educational systems, how we get out of all of our student debt, how we get out of the monetary debt system in general, how we heal our guts, right? I'm looking for the solutions. I get that people are in fear. I get that people are afraid. You're allowed to express that. Just please don't express it in my inbox YouTube videos. Whether it's here on Facebook or on Instagram, I am done with the fear spreading. Because fear is how people are controlled and manipulated. More than anything else. I love telling this story. You know, the buffalo were hunted here in the United States. They were bison. They're actually American bison. And the buffalo were hunted in Europe. And my people, the Etruscans, which were in northern Italy and in central Italy, and throughout the Frank Empire, hunted the buffalo. And one of the stories that they tell about buffalo runs is all you have to do is get them afraid, right? These big giant buffalo, if they turn around and ran at the hunters would be done. They got spears and bow and arrows. You're fucked, right? What they would do is make them afraid and get them to run themselves off a hill so they didn't even have to kill the buffalo. They killed themselves. So guess what, y'all? We the buffalo, and there's hunters, and they're scaring us. And every time you watch a YouTube video and get more afraid of the 5G or of the reptiles or of the Illuminati or of whatever Anunnaki, whatever beautiful bullshit people are coming up with, we're coming up with fairy tales to try to make sense of this whole thing. Whatever it is that people are coming up with, my invitation to you is, unless there's a solution, unless there's an action that I can take in my life right now to address this, I'm no longer consuming this information. I'm not interested in what you know. I'm interested in what you know. G-N-O-W, Gnosis, from the Greek term Gnosis, which means to know through experience. I'm not interested in what you know in your mind. I'm not interested in what you read. I'm not interested in what you channeled. I'm interested in what you've actually lived. Are you growing a biodynamic farm that can support your local community? No, I'm actually not interested in what you have to say about food systems then. You don't have any children. Oh, I'm not interested in your mama activation. Someone reached out to me, can I give you a mama activation? I said, do you have any children? And she said, no. And I said, then absolutely not. Why the fuck are you offering me a mother activation and a $5,000 program if you ain't a mother? That's so fascinating to me. And I encourage people, you know what I mean? I work with people one-on-one to help them activate their channels and help them give their gifts to the world. That's part of what I do. And one of the things I do with my allies is we do a humility check. Is what you're sharing something you've actually experienced, or are you regurgitating someone else's information? It's important that we step into what wisdom actually is. Wisdom is knowledge in the body. Wisdom is, I've lived this path and now this is how I walk. These are my ways. And I'm here to share them with you in humility. The way that we know, G-N-O-W, if someone actually knows, either in their head or knows in their heart, true wisdom, is the way in which they share it. The way in which someone shares it. If someone's sharing something and they're needing to prove to you that they're right, and they're needing to prove to you that their channel is true, or they're trying to prove to something, they don't know it in their body. It's not wisdom yet, it's just in the head. If someone needs you to respond to their YouTube video, I've gotten people, why haven't you responded to my YouTube video? Because you're seeking validation and I'm not that interested in what you have to say. It's not even your YouTube video. You're handing me some David Icke dude who's talking about reptiles. He's talking out of his ass. And he might be right, but he's only spreading more fear and he's not creating a solution. So I'm not interested. I'm actually not interested if what you're telling me is only from your brain, you haven't lived it, and it's only creating more fear. Because if I wanted more fear and only from the head, I'd be listening to our president right now. That's just where it's at. I desire to connect from the body, from knowing that has been lived through wisdom and trial and error. If you're a channel for 5 years, write everything down and give me some empirical evidence that the information that comes through you is accurate, because I've got 13 years of mediumship experience and I've got a 95% success rate. So I enjoy the marriage of empirical evidence and magic. I enjoy that place where we, as spiritual leaders, mediums, witches, can come forward and say, hey, science, measure me. I'm doing a case study right now with plant medicine with a medical team. So I'm not saying that mediumship isn't real. It is real. I am a medium. What I'm saying is, if you're a medium, if you're a channel and you're getting information, write it down and see if what you're saying is true. Because just because your channel is open and just because you're a medium and just because you can trust it, doesn't mean that what's coming through you is true. It means that it's for you first. Now, when I first started opening my channel, there was all sorts of stuff coming through. Most of it was through my own filter. Most of it was for me. And I shared it. And now when I share, including in these videos, I say, look, this is my channel. This is me oracling. What comes through is for Brianna first. And if it lands for you, fantastic. But please don't put me on a pedestal and please don't project onto me, because for every single person, it's a religion of one. This is me expressing my relationship with the goddess right now. This is my relationship with God, what you're hearing right now. This is my prayer. So if you want to pray and put it on a video, that's fantastic. Please don't make it the answer, because it's your answer. It's not everyone's answer. If you're a channel, if you're a medium, if you're a spiritual leader and you've got a message to share, make it very clear to people that it's your message to you first. This is my message to me first. If it lands for you, fantastic. If it doesn't, that's okay too, because my truth isn't for everyone. My truth is for me and for the people it resonates with. And my truth is about expanding consciousness so that we can remember that God, Goddess, I Am lives within us, and we always have access to that. No one can take that from you. No one can give that to you. People can activate that in you. I can support in activating that in you, but I might not be the one for you. So anyone who's claiming to have the answer, anyone who's claiming to be the Christ, anyone who's claiming to have the ultimate book or the ultimate meditation or the ultimate leader, they're just the fucking Catholic Church running their imperialistic games on the planet all over again. And I'm not into it. I'm not into it. Even if what you're saying is true. It's not just what we say, it's how we say it. Are we sharing it in a container of humility? Of, hey guys, all of you who are tuning in right now, this is from my knowing, my experience, my deep knowing. However, it may not be your truth, and I'm okay with that. Please don't pedestal me. Don't put me on a pedestal because I say something that resonates with you. And please don't project onto me. Don't project your pain, your victimhood onto me because of the way I look, or because of the way I speak, or because of the way of my background, or where I came from, or how much money I have. Not to rise and not to fall. I'm here, right here with you, brothers and sisters and others. This is what it means to have a religion of one. We get to come to each other like this. Hello, God. Namaste. The old Sanskrit word, namaste, that which lives in me recognizes that which lives in you, and that is Gnosis. That's the deeper Gnosis. And if we can come to the place of what I know is so little into what actually the infinite universe is, that humility is required at this time for us as channels and mediums, my brothers and sisters and others. Because if we start to claim to have the answers, I have the technique, I have the way to eat, I have how you should be living, I have how you should be educating your children. None of us know. We can offer solutions for our soul that we can try out and experiment with, but none of us know because we've been under corporate capital imperialistic rule for almost 6,000 years. What I'm talking about is addressing the root, the corporate capitalist imperialistic rule that started when one man said, I'm king and God told me that I'm king. I'm king and God told me, God came to me in a dream and told me that I'm the king. Well, God came to me in a dream and told me I'm Mary Magdalene. And God came to me in the dream and told me I'm president. God came to me in the dream and said, it's okay to kill all the native peoples of the Americas because that's the white man's burden and they need Jesus Christ. You see, the problem, mediums, is when we start claiming our truth, it falls right back into white man's burden. It is your truth first. Any information that you receive from spirit for anyone else is for you first. David Icke, David Wilcox, Matt Kahn, these men who are disseminating information right now. Matt's kind of cool. He's on the more of the love side, but he does use fear once in a while to get people to play his love games. Unless your teacher on the stage with their giant pedestal is saying, I don't know shit, and what I'm about to channel is for me, and if it resonates for you, I honor that, and you're welcome to contribute to my organization, but you don't have to. Unless they're saying something like that as the container, I'm done. I'm done with the hierarchy. I'm done with people proclaiming that they know, because we don't know. We don't know. What we do know is what we've lived, what we've tasted, what we've smelled, what we've experienced, what we've touched. Other than that, we don't know. And that's the best wisdom that I can give to you, is the remembering that we don't know. The great mystery, TGM, the great mother, the Gaia mother. Right now on our planet, more people are dying from religious wars than anything else. More children are in prostitution than are sick from this stupid virus. Doesn't mean the virus isn't real. It means our priorities have been off for a long time, my brothers and sisters and others. It's time to open our eyes. We need to say no more to child prostitution, no more to religious wars, no more to wars for oil, no more for wars for taking land from other people, no more wars trying to control people. That's the basis of all of this. Is if we can use our wisdom, if we can use our deep knowing to really say what we want as a human family. I want my daughters to be able to walk safe in our streets. That's what I want, whether they're in the country or in the middle of a city. That's what I desire. I desire that my sons, that my brothers are no longer used as mercenaries to take oil out of the Middle East and to destroy religious ideas. I'm complete with that. I'm complete with anyone of a non-gendered identity needing to choose one or potentially having violence befall them. I'm done with anyone of any color being treated any other way than human, whether it's people of color who are being degraded by the system or people who don't present as people of color being attacked for not being people of color. I'm done of us using strata to cause hate and confusion in the world. That's what I am a stand for. As a medium, as a prayer, as a soul mentor, as a student of life, I am a stand that we end all wars with self, other self, and the world herself, and bring heaven to earth now, because that's what we can do, humans. That's what the earth is for. We don't know where we're going next, and anyone who proclaims to know is lying, or they're making up a make-believe story. The difference between make-believe and lying isn't much. Santa Claus is make-believe. Jesus Christ's story is make-believe. Now, there are pieces that are real. There was a Saint Nick, and there might have been a Yeshua ben Joseph. But the way that those stories have transpired now and the weight that they carry in our world now is very different than the original story. They're no longer in the knowing, in the gnosis, in the body. They're now a story in the head that creates a cultural paradigm. So I'm asking us to step out of the cultural paradigm into our hearts and proclaim the only truth there is, TGM, the great mystery, the great mother, the Gaia mother. The only thing I know is that I'm human right now on this planet, here loving you. And I love you. Thanks for tuning in. Share this video if it moves you. Don't if it doesn't. And I look forward to hearing direct messages from you that are not YouTube videos on fear. Okay? Love you so much. Have a beautiful day. Bless, bless. Love, love.